protect the health and safety of players was upheld. It stems from the Chargers' win against Dallas. Perryman was flagged for unnecessary roughness in the second quarter after a helmet-to-helmet hit on Cowboys wide receiver Ryan Florney. Perryman eligible to return to the active roster January 5th. Steelers wide receiver DK Metcalf's 2-game suspension has been upheld. He'll sit out the final 2 games of the regular season for violating league policy after he got into an altercation with a fan in Detroit. 49ers start George Kittle dealing with a mid to low ankle sprain. Bills QB Josh Allen will try and play through a foot injury Sunday. Packers quarterback Jordan Love practiced on Tuesday but remains in the NFL's concussion protocol. Save big when you bundle auto and home, renters, or condo with Progressive.
I'm Chuck Sanders on News Talk Radio 1410 WRMN.
The holidays are back at Starbucks, so share the season with a peppermint mocha. Starbucks signature espresso, velvety mocha, and cool peppermint notes, topped with whipped cream and dark chocolate curls. Together is the best place to be at Starbucks.
Find what you love and love what you find at Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, find what you love only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly, B21.
Whether it's morning routines or weekends on the sidelines when the temperature drops, America brings the heat with Hot Hands. Hot Hands are America's favorite hand, toe, neck, and even body warmers to help you stay warm and cozy from head to toe. Hot Hands are fast-acting, they're long-lasting, and they are made right here in the USA. Look for the Hot Hands logo and the bright orange packages at your favorite store or online, and keep doing what you love out there with Hot Hands, warming up America coast to coast.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast, brought to you by Hot Hands, America's favorite hand warmers. Today, areas of fog and a chance of rain before 10 a.m. Cloudy with a high near 47, temperatures falling to around 44 in the afternoon. Wind gusts up to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, cloudy with a low around 38. Tomorrow, cloudy with a high near 44. Currently, it is 42 with fog. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
Rain-X wipers are the #1 wiper blades in America. That means all kinds of drivers choose Rain-X. Big drivers in small cars choose Rain-X. Small drivers in big cars choose Rain-X. Drivers with long hair and short commutes choose Rain-X. Drivers with short hair and long commutes choose Rain-X. Drivers with pets on board, babies on board, and bored babies on board choose Rain-X. Basically, drivers who love a clear view of the road all choose Rain-X wipers, the #1 wiper blades in America.
Your hometown radio station since 1949. We are WRMN AM 1410, Elgin time, 9 o'clock.
The Elgin Police Department is dedicated to working in partnership with the community to promote safety and enhance the quality of life by serving with professionalism, encouraging open communication, and embracing diversity.
Engaged.
Partnering with our citizens and involved in our community.
Progressive.
Embracing innovative strategies while maintaining proven practices.
Dedicated.
Serving with integrity and professionalism. Elgin became an incorporated city in 1854 and installed its first police marshal, George W. Renwick. Over the years, the title of the head law enforcement officer changed from marshal to chief. And although the role has expanded, one duty has remained consistent: to ensure law and order for the citizens of Elgin.
It's time now for Fridays with the Finest, featuring Elgin's current police chief, Anna Lally, on Elgin's hometown radio station since 1949, WRMN AM 1410 and 96.7 FM.
And welcome in, folks, to Fridays with the Finest here on WRMN. This is your host on the board hot seat here, Matt McNeil, taking you into this hour. We've got Chief Anna Lally with us today, joining us on this overcast, rainy after Christmas after day, or as people in Britain celebrate Boxing Day as well.
Oh yeah, yes.
As my family comes from Bermuda, my mom's side,
okay,
and that's part of Britain. So we used to always celebrate Boxing Day when I was a kid.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. So they do afternoon tea too. It's very
well, not afternoon tea. We have what is it? It's it's like the crackers you open. It's like tied in paper and you crack it open.
Yeah, I know
and
what you're
then
talking about.
there's
Yeah,
little
yeah.
prizes and stuff in
Yeah,
there.
that's
So
cool. Yeah,
little stuff
no.
like that.
Yeah, no, I hope everyone had a great Christmas. You say you're in the hot seat. I like that, sitting in the hot seat, right? So- yeah, I mean, it is kind of the hot seat.
Yeah.
But no, I hope everyone had a great Christmas. It is a little gloomy outside, right? I think people are waking up, making breakfast, maybe enjoying the holiday buzz still. I think a lot of people take this week off and next week. I was driving into work today and there's barely any traffic. So, I think that people are just hopefully spending time with their family and everyone, taking a nice time to just really appreciate each other and take a collective break in a lot of the things that are happening in the world today. And so yeah, just how was your Christmas? Did you have a good Christmas?
It was very
Great.
good. Yes, very good. It was just the family night. So it was my parents, my aunt, and my brother and our dog Duncan.
Okay.
We had prime rib. We played bingo and some other games, and it was relaxing. It was nice.
Good.
So I
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
Awesome. Yeah. I wanted to, just talk a little bit today. We did have 2 arrests, significant arrests. I want to talk about that, and then really kind of like, talk a little bit about, what like being a police officer during Christmas and the holidays, right? I think it's really interesting. We were just having a conversation before the show, just about how it is different in our profession, because if you think about professions that are 24/7, right? So, and just look at on Christmas, right? When you're driving to your family's house and places, what's actually open, now, but you police officers, firefighters, the hospitals, doctors, right? Think about what profession is it like 24/7. You can't not have a police station. You can't have people, just everyone be off and no officers. So it really is a very different career. So I want to talk a little bit about that and get just have the community get a little insight into what that's like. But first, let me talk a little bit about 2 significant arrests that we made. We posted this on our social media. We had a shots fired call that happened last Sunday on the 21st. And it was in the 1100 block of Fairwood Drive. We showed up, we responded there for a report of shots fired. When we got there, so this is the interesting thing, and this is some really good information for the public. So when we receive these calls for shots fired, we go out there and the officers will do a preliminary investigation and try to figure out, can you verify that shots have been fired? The way that you verify it, you either have physical evidence, so you'll see a shell casing, a bullet, or you might have a victim who is struck. So with that, if, absent that, so we'll canvass, we'll knock on doors, we'll look at videos, we'll do everything that we can. And that's just a basic preliminary investigation. That's very routine. Absent that, if we don't have anything, then, we still write a police report. We still generate a police report if we think there's something that could potentially be followed up on. And then we're done. But what we also have gotten into the practice of doing, because especially if the shots fired incidents, this happened at 3:51 in the morning, which it's dark outside. So what we've gotten in the habit of doing is we go back and recanvass that next day or a couple days later, because sometimes, especially if it happens in the early morning, a lot of people are at work, so they're not witnesses, but they may come home, and if we say, hey, do you have a Ring doorbell? Do you have a camera? Do you have something that we could take a look at? So that recanvass is really to, kind of get the community back re-engaged with what happened, and then make sure that we're, seeing if there is anything. So in this instance, we went out there the first time, and there were not any evidence of shots fired. So and no witnesses, nothing. So we go back though, and when we went back, the officers did an excellent job recanvassing, and that's when we did find evidence of shots fired. From there, our special investigations group then conducted an investigation, and this takes time. Sometimes it's quick. This one is very quick. We made an arrest within, a few days here. But they were able to arrest someone, charge him with some weapons offenses, based on some really good work that they do as investigators, and sometimes very quick turnaround. But I think the community, so that they know when these incidents happen. First of all, we respond to every 911 call. So I know, that information, regardless of what it is, we respond. When we go out there, then we have to figure out what's our preliminary investigation. Sometimes the call that comes in is not what it ends up being. Sometimes the call that comes in is more than what they're reporting. So that investigative piece is very important, which is why you have to have really good officers who are very thorough and very tenacious. Because if you think about our cold case unit, you don't want to put detectives in that unit who, on face value, they read something, they're like, yeah, nothing to see here, nothing here. We're looking for that deeper analysis. We're looking for somebody to really take the time to look and say, wait a minute, this one piece of information or this one thing that someone said in that moment really didn't mean anything. But when you have all these pieces of the puzzle put together, then it means something, right? And so I think that it's really important that, we do that. We've done that in all our shots fired cases to go back out there, to re-engage with the community, to figure out if there's something. In this case, would end up making a great arrest. So we also had another incident that happened on December 23rd at 12:18 in the morning. This was a report of a disturbance in the 600 block of State Street. Long and short of it, through our investigation, someone discharged a firearm during a domestic disturbance. No one was injured, but we did make an arrest, and that person was subsequently charged with some weapons violation offenses as well. So really good work the past couple days, and quick arrests, and I think that's what the community likes to see. And when it happens like that, it's a great thing because you don't have to, um, prolong it because the more time that goes on, the community says, what's going on? Or sometimes people assume that we're not working the case when we really are. We actually are working very hard, that the officers and detectives are very diligent. But sometimes with things like this, when it's quick, it's easy. So,
Right.
But with those two incidents I want to mention, so our shots fired for, as of today, we're at 24. Shots fired, remember, includes everything from whether we show up and we just find a shell casing, we find maybe a window struck, or if a person was struck. Last year at this time, we were at 65. So it is a huge, yes. I think I sat down with Ryan last week, my crime analyst, Ryan Drake. We started doing our, the annual report. So, it takes a lot to put that report together. He does his part, I do my part. We get all the information from the lieutenants and the sergeants. And when we were looking at the graph I think we went back to like maybe 2016 or 14 or something like that. This was the lowest year. So it is, I will say, I wish I knew the why. I wish I knew the why that I could say for certainty, like this is it. But there's a lot of reasons why I think, one, I think we have not changed our strategy, right? So we continue to do really great investigations. We continue to arrest people. Sometimes people are involved in multiple crimes. Sometimes one arrest of one person dismantles their criminal activity or their behavior. It's also, I think, our technology, our techniques, right? Really good detectives. So, you have that technique part, you have the investigative side, you have the community portion. The community calls and reports crime. So a lot of times when you look at crime stats, if you have a community that does not call when things happen, then you don't know that crime is happening. Now, what will happen is, so if I'm, and a lot of times the calling the community, that's based, again, that they feel comfortable reporting it, that they know that the department's going to do something. I know sometimes that what we can do is not good enough sometimes for people, right? And we do have limitations and parameters. I think, we can kind of, relate that to what's going on with immigration and, our city council meeting a week or two ago and some of that stuff that's gone on, and talking about, here's the Trust Act, here are our limitations, here's what we do. Sometimes I think that's, and I fully recognize sometimes that's not enough, right? People want more, but, what the facts are and what we are doing is important to me that gets out. And so, 4 shots fired. I was here last year at this time talking about 65 shots fired, right? And one year was the highest year that we had. And, it was a lot of conversation about, what's going on. And so our strategy really hasn't changed. You pivot every now and then to say, okay, what can we be doing better? And that's a constant at the department. But I think a big part of it too is also some of the programs that we have put in place about 5 years ago. And I think when you put these programs into place initially and you start to build them and you start to grow them and really, you put your energy into something that you think will be something that will be a really good thing. And, I'll give you an example, which is our youth empowerment program. So before our youth empowerment program, which started in about 2021, really 22, kind of around that time, um, we did have something called Operation Homefront, and it was part of our gang unit at the time. And basically the premise was the same. If there were people, yes, eventually young kids that were involved in criminal activity or potentially involved in gang activity, we would go out and have a conversation do some prevention, right? And talk to the family, try to intervene sooner than later. So that had gone on for quite some time now. That kind of the way that we addressed it through police reform, there were some issues about how we were handling and working with juveniles, handling cases where juveniles. And so we sat down and we worked with Councilman Corey Dixon at the time, and two community liaisons who are now running our program, and, my deputy chief at the time and one of my commanders, and really sat down and thought about, like, what can we do differently here? And we revamped the way that we engage with juveniles who are involved or potentially going to be involved in some type of criminal activity, gang activity. And that was our youth empowerment program. And here we are, 3 years later, 4 years later, and we've had we've had to pivot, we've had to adjust. We have, some really good people right now who are in charge of it and working with it. And I think that's a big part of where you'll start to see some of these programs have a long-term impact. But when you start a program, the first thing is you'll get criticized, right?
Yes.
It's what everyone likes to do. I will tell you that, the criticism of why are you guys doing this? Why are you spending money on this? This doesn't make sense, and I think that you have to endure a little bit of the criticism to create something that you hope is setting a foundation or a better foundation for the future. So I think some of the programs, whether it's our collaborative crisis services unit, having our youth empowerment program, all these different things that we do and different strategies that we do, I think we're seeing some of the benefits, and again, that's just anecdotally what I think based upon, being in this profession and being and seeing a lot of things and how our mission has always been the same at the department. You want a safe community, you want engaged in community, and you want professional police officers. It's just how you deliver that, right? It's how you deliver it that sometimes the how is a different program, a different thought, a different perspective, and not being afraid to be criticized. I think a lot of times it's not an easy thing, right?
Yeah.
It's not fun. If I tell you you're going to go sit in a room with people and they're going to criticize everything that you think and you believe in, and you have to endure that, but you just know that this is going to be something that's going to set the better foundation for the community. And I think that that's where I truly appreciate the people that were involved in that program and working with it, because we believed in something different, and you do something different and then you see the results. And
Right.
so I think it's that type of creativity, initiative, and really I tell people a lot of times about to me, it's not thinking outside of the box. It's a very easy way to capture it. I don't even think like that. I think that there is no box. Like, we are not restrained by the only thing that's restraining us are the limitations that we put on ourselves, right? And what we think. I don't think this is going to be good enough. I think that I'm going to get criticized. And I think when you remove that and you just say, my purpose here is to make the community better and to make, the department better, and you remove those limitations that are more than likely self-imposed, and then you push and you get the right people along, and you get the community who believes in us, right? Sometimes they're not happy with us, and I do understand that, but I think you have to still continue to stay the course.
Right.
And
That's
sometimes,
important.
and it's not easy sometimes, right? Like, and I fully recognize that, but the men and women of the Elgin Police Department, they knock it out of the park every day. Just professionals, creative thinkers. Some of these programs don't even, some of the programs start with officers who are just, they've been here a few years, and because their perspective is different. And then, we, the command staff, we're willing to listen to something different. And I say, oh, we've been doing this for 30 years, so we know better. It's like, I don't believe in that. It's like, okay, this person has a very unique perspective because they've just come into our profession. And we've been in our profession for a very long time, which there's stability in that, right? That's where you gain the experience and the knowledge. but you don't discard what people are saying who've just entered into a profession, right? You got to listen to it, hear it, and then from that, embrace that different perspective, which I think has absolutely made us, people who are willing to try something, So yeah, I want to, obviously just a lot of good things happening. It happens because the men and women in that department who every single day, including Christmas, right? So we were talking a little bit about that. You know, I remember as a young officer, working on Christmas, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, working. Whether I was a young officer on a patrol shift or eventually when I became a sergeant and lieutenant, working a patrol shift, you still need bosses to work the shift, right? So even last night, we have sergeants, we have supervisors, we have officers, they're away from their family. Most people think of Christmas and the holidays, right? Whatever it is, you're with your family, right? You get to enjoy that downtime, you get to decompress. But the thing is if we had something major happen in the city, and even though they're off that day, we may still call them in and say, look, this is happening, we need you here. So you're never really off, right? And some of our detectives, they're on call.
Yeah.
So they're getting called in the middle of the night. They're coming in. If anyone has been woken up in the middle of the night, right? It's one thing to be woken up in the middle of the night and you're like, I'm hungry, or okay, I'm going to fall back asleep. But it's another thing that you have to wake up and now you have to go handle a very serious matter.
Yeah.
So you have to pull yourself together, right? Which means you have to drink tons of coffee. You have to get up. You have to get in that mode of like, it doesn't matter that it's 2:00 in the morning. The people that I'm going to go, this victim deserves the same service as it was 9 in the morning.
Right.
So it's a very unique and different career and perspective. So all the first responders, firefighters, EMT, police officers. I really appreciate obviously what they do. Having done it and been in the profession for a while, it's very different, very very different. So
and sometimes people forget about that too. Is that it's really kind of a 24/7 thing.
It
that you have
is.
to do
Yep.
to keep the community safe and to make sure that anyone who's in trouble gets the help that they need.
Yeah.
So and
it is, and I think it's also so a lot of times officers. So our department is very young. When I say young, right? So time on, and a lot of the officers, even though they may have a little bit more time on, you used to not be able to get Christmas off or New Year's or something like that. And so you had when I got hired, it was like 10, 15 years on before you even got that. Unless, there were some officers that were the senior officers that, they chose to take, they wanted to work it for whatever reason. So now, you do have some younger officers are getting some time off, which is good. It's very good, because they get to enjoy time with their family. But the profession still requires you, to be available, even especially obviously as the police chief, when something happens, it does not matter where I'm at, right? It doesn't matter if I'm, at a family's house, a friend's house, if I'm in my own house, it doesn't matter. I still have to be available and be able to respond. And that's, something that when people come into this profession, that you choose that responsibility, right? Like it's never bothered me. This is what, I fully was aware of what I was getting into, right? So I choose the responsibility. And I think and it's also important to me that, that you do show up, right? And then absent, again, like the radio show today, regardless, every Friday, good, bad, or otherwise, right? Sometimes I'm here and I have to talk about some bad things. Good, bad, or otherwise, I'm here, right? Very, very rarely am I not here unless I'm sick or if I am out of the country or, I do take a vacation every now and then. But, it's a responsibility that you have to the community. It's a responsibility you have to the department. And it's something that as people, rise up in the ranks, I tell people a lot of times, if this is the thing that you want to do, you want to become, especially in a command staff, this is what's required of you, right? This is the required. No one forces you to do it. No one's threatening you. And when you take this, your position and you understand the weight of your position and the magnitude of your position, it doesn't become it's not a burden. It's a privilege to be able to, give to the community and, be able to be responsive and be able to help people, right? Like that's something that most people don't really get to do in their lives.
Right.
And I, especially with the young officers, I tell them every single day you're going to have an ability to do something for someone quietly behind the scenes that will forever change their lives. And very few people get that opportunity in their life. So every single day, now it's what you make of it, right? Now, the first time somebody is upset with you and starts yelling at you, what are you going to do, right? Are you going to choose to be gracious and remember why you're here, right? Or are you going to go off the rails, which does nothing for anyone, right? So I think it's that, if you really get into public service, and I think most people who just say, I'm not going to be with my family on Christmas Eve. I'm not going to be with my family on Christmas Day. And you know that, right? And you get into that profession, you still choose to do that. To me, that's a very admirable quality. And so I really appreciate everyone, the men and women, the police department, all law enforcement, people, doctors, ER staff, right, firefighters. It's a very different profession. Very
It
different.
definitely is. But I know that they do it because they want to do it, right?
Yes.
You want to do it, right?
Yes.
So being a part of being a part of that, and it's something that I think is needed, and we're very fortunate here in America to have that too.
Yeah.
So
It's a difference, I guess also like you said, you're choosing to do that, and you're choosing to do it for like what is the purpose, and I think really talking about some of the stuff that's been going on with immigration and the city council meeting, and the department is working on updating our transparency site with some information, immigration related, whether it's education, information. So we're in the process of working on that. We started working on that last week. So I think this is also where, what is the community asking for, and how can we deliver it, right? And sometimes not everything is a good plan, right? Not everything that's suggested is appropriate or is good, but there are some things where, we can pivot a little bit. So there are some upcoming things working on that. That conversation is going to keep going. I know that, as we move through there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of uncertainty. It's important to me that the community understands, the parameters of which we're working in, which is the Trust Act. It's important to me that the community knows we absolutely respond to every 911 call. It's important to me that any person that is as police officers, we're not, and we used to have this, I used to have to explain some of this and talk about this when we were talking about people who are unhoused. So in 2020, during COVID, and the park down here, very close to the radio station, there were a lot of people who were unhoused, and there were a lot of activity going on, and I had to stress to the point that the police officers, we deal with behaviors, right? We are not concerned with, if you're unhoused, we're not concerned with, in terms of, we're not concerned in that moment of what your action is, right? So we are concerned, which is why we create CCSU and work with our social service providers and try to help people. But when you're committing certain actions, crimes, it's our duty and responsibility to investigate those crimes, regardless of what category you're fitting in, right? We're addressing behaviors. And I think that's important that, and on top of that, we have to work within the parameters of, the framework and the laws that are given to us, whether those are city ordinances, state laws, local laws, federal laws, constitutional law, all this stuff, right? It's not, being a police officer is, it's not as easy as sometimes people think. And sometimes you can't just, it's not as easy as just, okay, do this. And it's like a temporary fix, right? It's a temporary, you relieve your pain for the moment because people won't be upset with you. You won't listen to it. But then the unintended consequence of doing that is you cause bigger problems, right? So that's where it's very important to me that, being and listening and hearing, adjusting when we can, continuing to put the right information out there, and having that accurate information. And I also, not everything is as simple. It's very common, and I know people do this. You hear this snippet of something. It doesn't matter what it is. You hear something. Not everything is actually what someone's saying. There's more to it. There's more layers. There's more depth. There's more information. And I think it's important that we take the time to listen to the whole story, not just the snippet or the news media bite or the here's this issue, what is going on? Here's this issue, what was actually said. Here's this issue, what's actually being done. So I will continue to say that, continue to, make sure that people have the right information, and, hopefully, as this time in the holidays and people just kind of take a little bit of a pause, just to kind of appreciate what they do have in their life, appreciate each other. Doesn't matter if they disagree with you or don't like you or anything like that. That to me, it's like, as humans, I think we owe it to each other to be. We can have conflict. Conflict is sometimes good, right? It depends if the outcome is good. But I think you still have to maintain your graciousness and your understanding and your kindness as humans. I think that to me is very important. And that's not because I'm the police chief, right? That's because me as a person. So I think, with that, the police officers and it's a very precarious situation. It's not as simple as everyone, thinks. But we are working, we are listening, we are trying. And again, I'm fully well aware of that. Sometimes no matter what I say, people are not going to be happy. I fully understand that. And I get that. I do. And I still appreciate and value everyone's opinions.
Absolutely. And, too, like you were saying also with situations and the stories, a lot of people, it can be very easy for us to come to conclusions right away.
That's a great point. Yeah.
So it's good to sometimes, sit and listen, and sometimes these things might take time to understand and to recognize.
I mean, and also it's the what you said, just making conclusions, and also just thinking about the point of taking the time to understand and listen and gather information, because think about the speed of which people's news comes to them, right?
Instant. Yeah.
And I mean, 20 years ago, you're not having people Facebook Live things, right? You're not having Facebook, social, Instagram, this. So the speed at which information comes to people, and then there's not an ability to, think about what exactly is going on. Like, let me go do my own independent, let me make that conclusion. I think sometimes that gets, speed is good, right? It streamlines things. But sometimes slowing it down and understanding the context, the nuances, I think that allows a better conversation, right? That allows, when we were talking, especially about police reform and the Safety Act, there were so many nuances with it that the snippets of things that people were hearing were not exactly what was going on. So, a speed of information is, obviously helps, but sometimes it's a great thing to slow it down. So, but with that, I'll be back next week. I want to wish everyone a happy holidays, Merry Christmas. I hope everyone's having, I know these next few days people are celebrating. So if you are celebrating, celebrate responsibly. And I hope everyone has a great weekend.
Absolutely. Thank you, Chief, for all you do.
Thank you.
Is diabetes keeping you from enjoying life's special moments? At US Med, we understand the challenges you face, and we're here to help.
With US Med, I can finally manage my diabetes without it managing me.
US Med offers a wide range of services to simplify your diabetes care. Personalized care plans, convenient access to cutting-edge diabetes tech, and knowledgeable support. Plus, we'll 800-785-1673, 800-785-1673, 800-785-1673. That's 800-785-1673.
Want to know what the shepherds did after they visited the Christ child? To read the short novel, The Good Shepherds, a Christmas combat story by Michael Tooman. Available on Amazon in hardcover, paperback, and Kindle editions. Check out Michael Tooman's webpage at Scilink.net. That is PSYLINK.net. Papa Sierra Yankee, Lima India November Kilo, November Echo Tango.
In the middle of the night, everything will be all right if you listen to Coast to Coast right here on WRMN 7 days a week from midnight to 5 a.m. Each night on Coast to Coast, listeners are captivated by George Newry with discussions on news and current events, conspiracy theories, UFOs, life after death, and all things curious and unexplained. Whether you're working third shift or you're just a night owl, catch the most listened to overnight talk radio program in North America, Coast to Coast, every night, midnight to 5 a.m. right here on WRMN AM 1410 and 96.7 FM.
Children are the greatest joy and our best hope for a better future. Friends, they are the future. But did you know that millions of kids right here in our own backyard are facing hunger every day? Without healthy food, it's harder to grow, to thrive, to feel their best.
The impact when children don't have enough to eat is tremendous because when you're hungry and your basic needs aren't being met, you cannot learn.
Every child deserves to be fed. This is a problem we know how to solve. Food is not just food. It's energy, health, confidence, hope, and even love. Yes, love.
Breakfast in the classroom contributes to kids being more focused, which leads to higher grades, and simply just their well-being.
Learn more about how No Kid Hungry is helping end child hunger in America at helpnokidhungry.org.
Welcome in, folks, to the rest of the 9 o'clock hour, the community hour here on WRMN on a fantastic Friday, the day after Christmas. If you celebrate Boxing Day, it is Boxing Day today. We'll talk a little bit about what that is coming up, especially during the Out to Lunch segment today. We appreciate everyone tuning in today. Of course, as always, thank you, Chief Lally, for coming in, taking the time and energy to come into the station here to talk about different things that are happening with the police station and more around the area, especially in Elgin. If anyone out there wants to keep yourself up to date on those different happenings, please feel free to give them a like and follow here on the Facebook page. That's Elgin Police Department, of course. You can also visit them, cityofelgin.org/police for more information. So they are wishing everyone, of course, a very Merry Christmas. They posted that yesterday, and a very happy and safe New Year as well, too. We hope you all enjoyed the holidays. Yes, hope you had a good Christmas. I did. I'll tell you a little bit about that here. I had some nice prime rib. It was absolutely delicious. And hey, feel free to call into the show today. Tell us how your holidays were. What did you do? Did you play any fun games? Maybe you wore your best Christmas sweater. Maybe your ugly Christmas sweater. Maybe you got all fancied and dolled up too. Maybe you traveled for the holidays. Maybe you're away in a different state. In fact, we've got our very own Bill Pellerinos is in Florida right now. So we're going to be doing a replay for him coming up during the 12 o'clock hour. What were some of the cool gifts that you got? We'll talk about that today. I got this new sweater here, as you can see. If you're watching on the YouTube side of things, it's a nice off-white with some nice coffee, earthy tone colors here of some blacks and browns, and I do like it very much so. So I got that, and a couple new pairs of pants, and a new scarf, and some good stuff too. So I enjoyed it. The most important thing was I got to spend it with my family. We had a great time. We hope you did too if you do celebrate the holidays. So, but if not, if it's a regular day for you, I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe you had the time off. We hope that you had a good day. We'll start off here. We'll continue on into this 9 o'clock hour. Steve Thorne's not here today. He took the day off, of course. So we're going to continue on here with the community hour. We'll continue on into the 10 o'clock segment. So it'll be an extension of Out to Lunch. Usually on Fridays, Out to Lunch is from 11 to 12. And then we have the life experiences with William Pellerinos from 12 to 1. What it'll be today will be the community hour. We'll start off with Out to Lunch coming up at the 10 o'clock hour. So Out to Lunch today will be 2 hours. We've got lots of good things to talk about. Maybe I'll do a conversation story, kind of just winging it a little bit today. So we'll do that. And then we have a replay for you. And that will be coming up. That'll be from 12 until around 1. And then Sonar will take over for the rest of the day here, he said. So stay tuned for that. Sounds pretty good, right? And then we got the new year coming up. It's coming up soon. Let me ring that bell here. The New Year's is coming up very, very soon. Of course, we have New Year's Eve, which is on a Wednesday. And then we've got Thursday, which is New Year's Day. So we've got some good things coming up there too. So stay tuned for that. And let's hop into it. We're going to hop into the weather here, continuing on your lovely morning. We'll see what we have here for the rest of this week. Now, we're in kind of that dense fog advisory right now. If you are already up, we're definitely seeing the fog out today. It's definitely overcast. It's kind of wet and raining today. So let's take a look here and see what the forecast is. So we do see a high of 47 degrees for today, morning fog. Current temperatures right now are at 45. It does feel like 37. I wore a light jacket today, so that was nice. I didn't have to wear my peak coat or my heavier coat. And we're going to see this continuing on for the next couple of days. And then it drastically does drop again. And then it kind of goes up and down a little bit here. But today's a high of 47 with a low of 36 degrees for tonight. Cloudy areas of dense fog pretty much roaming around for, throughout the whole day today. Tomorrow is Saturday, the 27th. We see a high of 45 degrees. It's going to be cloudy. It's going to be with a low of 42. It's going to pretty much consistently stay in the 40s. We do see about a 30% chance of rain, so it could get to be a few showers later at night. That's coming up for Saturday. For Sunday, temperatures go up to a high of 54 degrees. Folks, it's going to feel like a spring day. Periods of rain pretty much throughout the majority of the day. And then it gets to that drastic drop again. This is where the allergies are going to start to act up for me again. So I got to make sure I prepare myself ahead of time, have plenty of lozenges, drink plenty of water, maybe get enough vitamin D, and then maybe even take some Dayquil and NyQuil too, because this is where it's going to happen. High of 54 degrees for Sunday, dropping down to 15 as our low, and it's going to be snow showers, snow accumulations less than 1 inch. So we're going to start to see some more snow showers coming through. For Monday, the 29th, it's going to be a high of only 21 degrees, windy with on and off snow showers during the morning. It is predicted to be colder. I mean, it's going to be feeling a little bit colder here. Snow accumulations continuing on less than an inch. We see a low of 10 degrees coming up. That's for Monday night. Tuesday, the 30th, we see here a high of 26 degrees. Some sun in the morning with an increasing amount of clouds during the afternoon. We're going to be seeing it dropping down to a low of 24 degrees coming through, and that'll be for Tuesday night. For Wednesday here, we see a high of 31, and it is, a high of 27. That's Wednesday the 31st. I was reading and mixing up the numbers there. Considerable amount of cloudiness is in that forecast. It drops down to 11 degrees as our low for Wednesday the 31st. And that is going to be coming up. That will be a chilly night for New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve is, of course, New Year's Eve is a very popular time to go out and have fun. So make sure, of course, you're doing it safely as well. For Thursday, it is January 1st. We see a high of 18. It's going to be mainly sunny outside, but it's going to be very chilly. It does drop down to a low of 2 degrees. That will be coming up. That is for Thursday night. It's going to be a low of about 2 degrees. And then for next Friday, a week from today, it's Friday the 2nd of January, kicking it off with the new year 2026. Except for a few afternoon clouds, it's going to be mainly sunny. And we see a high of 22 and a low of 16. Partly cloudy skies are going to be in that forecast. So keep yourself up to date and in the loop with that. We are also going to be seeing some chances of some snow, accumulations of about an inch or so. That'll be coming up for Sunday and Monday. That's the 4th and 5th of January. So again, we are at the very tail end, folks, of this year, 2025. We hope you had a good year. We hope that you strive to have an even better year coming up in 2026. We all do. So let's try to do that. Let's try to do that for sure. We've got some good things to talk about here today. Of course, we're going to continue on talking more about what is happening in the community. What are some last minute activities that you can do? Again, it is still the holiday season. There's still some really great activities that you can be a part of and check out. So we're definitely going to be mentioning that. We're going to be talking about that here on the Community Hour. We'll hop into the Out to Lunch segment coming up at 10 o'clock at 10:06. Before we do that, what we'll do is we'll take a quick time out, and we'll be back with more here on the Community Hour WRMN. Stay tuned.
Systems run everything. Government, economy, media, justice. They shape your choices, your opportunities, your future. But do they work for you or against you? On Apolitical Talk Show, we break them down, not to destroy, but to understand. Because if you don't see how the system works, you won't see when it's being manipulated or who's benefiting from it. Power belongs to those who know the rules, challenge the loopholes, and demand accountability. That starts with knowledge. That starts here. Join us weekdays from 4 to 6 p.m. as we uncover what's really happening behind the headlines so you can decide for yourself what's fair, what's broken, and what needs to change. Apolitical Talk Show, breaking down the systems to build them up together. Right here, weekdays 4 to 6 on WRMN, the talk of the town.
Businesses come in all shapes and sizes. Integrity doesn't. For more than a century, the Better Business Bureau has set the standards for how businesses should operate honestly and ethically. So when you're looking for a business you can trust, check to see who's BBB accredited and who isn't. Always choose the Better Business. Look for the BBB seal because it's looking out for you. That's why it's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Join your co-hosts Mike Tooman and Paul Burvitt on our weekly radio hour, Chief Guard of the Republic, where we talk about all things national security, defense, personal security, safety, and dealing with law enforcement situations. Call in 847-931-1410. Ask us questions. We will get you answers every week, Saturday, noon to 1 on 1410 AM WRMN Elgin. Streaming on WRMN1410.com. Chat with us on WRMN's YouTube live channel.
When your car is making a strange noise, no matter what it is, you can't just pretend it's not happening.
That's an interesting sound.
It's like your mental health. If you're struggling and feeling overwhelmed, it's important to do something about it. It can be as simple as talking to someone in your community, or just taking a deep, calming breath when you need it. Nice. For mental health resources, check out loveyourmindtoday.org. At loveyourmindtoday.org, you'll find information that may help you get through a tough time. Things like tips for dealing with stress, how to navigate difficulties like financial worries, anger, substance use, and more. You can also find real stories of how people navigated their own mental health challenges. Because once you start to address the problem, you can go so much further. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Hey Bears fans, want your business heard during every heart-pounding moment of the game? WRMN 1410 is now offering in-game ad spots for Chicago Bears broadcasts. Be a part of the action as thousands of die-hard listeners tune in each week. Whether it's a touchdown, turnover, or a timeout, your message will be right there in the mix. Spots are limited and going fast. Call WRMN 1410 today at 847-741-7700 and score big with in-game advertising that delivers results. Get in the game with the Chicago Bears on WRMN AM 1410.
Finding a reputable business shouldn't require luck or chance. But how can you tell who you can trust? Pro tip, the BBB connects people with businesses they can trust. So think of the BBB as the better, check with the BBB first because better businesses are honest and commit to high ethical standards bureau. That's why they're better. Always look for the sign of a better business and find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
And welcome back, folks, to the Community Hour here on WRMN. It is a fantastic Friday today. We hope that you have been enjoying the holiday season. Maybe you've got the day off today. We hope that you are enjoying it with those that you love. Or, of course, maybe you're doing something yourself, just alone yourself. That's totally fine, too. So, again, lots of good things that are out there. Hey, by the way, I wanted to give a shout out here to Suburban Gray's Jessica, who we had on Out to Lunch a couple days ago. And she did a sharing post of us. And she said, thank you so much for having Suburban Grays on your show, Matt. She wrote there a couple days ago. And Jessica, I wanted to say, I enjoyed your charcuterie board mixture that you gave to us. Yes, yes, yes. We ate a lot of it. We ate a lot of it here. So Jessica, if you're listening in, thank you again for coming into the station. For those who don't know, she brought a whole box. And I mean like at least $50 worth of food. I mean, I'm not even kidding you. A box of some delicious charcuterie board choices. It included ham, it included salami, pepperoni, grapes, as well as olives, a bunch of different cheeses as well. We all really enjoyed it a lot. So I highly recommend checking them out. I'm giving you my own personal experience with it. We had a whole charcuterie board decorated. We didn't have to buy the food for the charcuterie board. And then we had crackers with it too that we got. So very, very good. So if you want to try that, of course, check it out. Suburban Grays. They're a small business located in Pingree Grove, and the video's posted on our YouTube channel as well if you want to watch that interview. But from my own personal experience, I really enjoyed our charcuterie board. It was very delicious. We enjoyed it during the holidays. Actually, you know what? I even took a picture of it. Let me send it to the 5059, the text line here, so that I can put it here on the screen. But yes, so it was really, really good. I enjoyed it very much. And again, it's a great opportunity to support local, like we always say here, good to support those local businesses who put the time and energy into doing what they love to do. And that's so important. So very good to take that, to have that appreciation. We've got Steve Thorne here in the comments here. Yes, you are taking the day off to be with family. And Steve here is wishing everyone a very happy holidays. And Steve, I wish you one as well, too. And I also want to share with you a picture that he shared, a Christmas Eve shot. And oh my goodness, this picture does not disappoint because this is pure elegance here with the beautiful wing mansion. Oh my goodness. If I ever live in a house like this, oh, I don't know. I would be in heaven the whole time. I mean, this is just fantastic. You know, what's beautiful about this picture, too, is you can see into the main parlor, the main living room, or the parlor as they called it back in the Victorian era, the main sitting room, the parlor, right? They've got the beautiful Christmas tree in there, too. It's just it's fantastic. So, Steve, you always keep the wing mansion looking immaculate and beautiful, always decorated. And yeah, as a collector, I get you. We've talked about that before. As a collector, some people don't understand it, but Steve and I, we get it. We get it. So here's a picture I wanted to share with you. This is in our kitchen, and that's me holding the charcuterie board, and that's a nice little shout out there to, of course, Jessica of Suburban Grays, who came into the studio. She had that beautiful charcuterie food choices there, so very nice indeed. We really very much enjoyed that. Let me go through and see what we've got for the day today. I want to mention here what we have coming up. What are some things that are still going on in the community? So we'll take it to the exploreelginarea.com website, and we'll take a little look-see here, see what's going on still. If you haven't had a chance yet, the Dinosaur Explorer exhibit at the Gail Borden Public Library, excuse me, my goodness, double time. The Gail Borden Public Library is still having their dino exhibit. Now, I'm not quite sure. Are they open today? Let me see. The Gail Borden Public Library. Let's see. It does look like they are open today. So if you want to check it out, they have some great activities that are going on. Now, you can also look up the Gail Borden Public Library in Elgin on their Facebook page and keep up to date with anything that's coming up here. Their timeline picture is that Dino Explorer exhibit. lots of people are enjoying it, and you can too. There's still time because it's going on until January 4th. Yesterday, they wished everyone a very happy holidays as well. They were closed Wednesday and Thursday, but they're open again today on Friday. What's really cool too is they still have it decorated, beautifully decorated. And if you go on the second floor, they've got a beautiful tree that's up there too. So feel free to check out some of that great stuff there. And even I've got it kind of zoomed up a little bit here. There is a little section of where the exhibit is, or at least part of the many different elements to the exhibit for the dino exhibit. It's upstairs, and they've got a beautiful display with even a nice backdrop as well too, and even some fake palm trees, which make me feel like I want to go on vacation for sure. So some cool things that they've got set up, and if you want to participate in them, you still have time because it's going on until January 4th. So that's until January 4th. If you want to check that out. Oh, Steve sent a wonderful picture. Steve, oh my goodness. Look at this. This is gorgeous. Now, folks, if you're watching on the YouTube side of things, I could look at this picture all day long. Oh my goodness. I love it. Just the innate work. Now, if you've never been to the Wing Mansion before, I recommend it. It's so cool. And he's got it beautifully decorated. He's got that Victorian style Christmas tree with the beautiful ornaments. He's got the tinsel on there. You see in the background, of course, that beautiful grandfather clock. It looks like a Tempest Fugit clock. You've got, of course, the beautiful mahogany wood that is, I don't know if that's mahogany wood, but it's beautifully designed wood nonetheless. You don't see a whole lot of houses like this nowadays. This is the type of house that I want to live in. And my mom and I, we actually got a new TV in our living room, and we've been watching a lot of HGTV. And the houses, I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, it's nice, but this right here is my dream. I just love it. I just think it's so cool. That lamp there too. I can't remember what kind of glass that's called, but I have a lamp very similar to that. It doesn't work, so I actually put a smaller lamp under it so it lights up still. But I just love that. I think it's so cool. So beautiful picture and display. Thank you, Steve, for posting that and sending that. I know I know you said, I know Matt's gonna like this, and of course I am, because I'm rambling about it still. I love it. It's just so cool. And also cool too. Oh boy, here I go on the ramble. I love the plants in the background too. Whenever, plants were kind of back in the Victorian era, a sign of like, oh, look at the wealth I have in my home. I have nature inside my home. I've got these beautiful plants. So all that cool stuff. I just think it's so, so cool. Yeah, I love it. I don't have any direct ancestors that lived in homes like this, but I do have a great, great, great aunt. My great, great grandma Minty's sister lived in a big house like this. I know, because her husband owned a plumbing company in Ottumwa, Iowa, and they lived in a big house like this too. So I only imagine, of course, thinking of like how beautiful it was inside and beautifully decorated and stuff like that. But nonetheless, still, that's my tangent. You know me, I love the family history stuff, and we still only have a couple minutes left. So let's continue on talking more what's happening in the community. And then we'll hop into the Out to Lunch segment. We'll go through maybe a conversation story or a big question story. Got some good things to talk about today. The Karis Christmas pop-ups are still going on strong too. So if you go to any of the Karis family restaurants, there's of course Village Squire, there's Rookies, All-American Pub and Grill. Of course, there's also Alexander's Cafe, beautifully decorated in there too for these Karis Christmas pop-ups. So it's still going on until January 2nd. You still have time to check it out before they take down the decorations. Also still going on as well too, Gobert's Farm in Pingree Grove on Ryan King Road still has their beautiful Christmas light show, and that's going on until January 4th. So if you want to check that one out too, it's a spectacular show, and there's actually two shows. So it's the Larson Light Show and then the Gobert's Drive-Thru. And that started back in November, and it's still going on until January 4th. So a great way to experience the magic of the holiday season. And it's locally, right in your backyard too, not too far away. You can get there, Pingree Grove Road. If you take maybe, I think it's 72, you can take there, to get there, depending on where you live. But 72 is a good route to take because it'll take you also through till Hampshire as well. So definitely check that out. A fully programmed 30-minute show is the Larson Light Show. The experience for the Gilbert's drive-through is roughly 20 minutes or so, depending on the traffic, but that's still going strong until January 4th. There's also Santa's Village Magical Christmas drive-through, of course. That's coming up tonight. That is from 5 until 10 p.m., of course. So, and that's still going on until December 30th. So if you do want to still check out the Santa's Village Magical Christmas drive-through, I know we had the sales coordinator Lindsay on a couple weeks ago talking about it with us. I shared their Facebook the Facebook and website showing you some of those really cool pictures that are out there. So definitely a good one to check out for sure. Got a lot of good things out there. So definitely check out so many of the fun things coming up. You can view things coming up over the weekend. We're definitely going to go through more of that coming up in just a bit. For the Out to Lunch segment, we'll have our, of course, Sunny Skies inspirational story. We'll go through the National Day calendar. I'll also talk a little bit on the history of Boxing Day, because it is Boxing Day today. It's something that our family does celebrate as well. So we'll talk a little bit about that here. Lots of great things, of course, to discuss. So stay tuned for that. We'll also go through what else is coming up today as well, too. So we hope you are enjoying this day. It's still in the morning. We're getting closer into the afternoon. Up next, we've got Out to Lunch. I'll be sticking around here until roughly around 12 o'clock. And then we do have a replay best of for Life Experiences with William Pellerinos, because he's in Florida. He's in Florida, folks. And you know what? I'll send a picture that he sent to me the other day, wishing me a very Merry Christmas here. So Susie says, good morning, and a good morning to you. Yes. The t-shirt size I wear is a large. I wear a large, Susie. So thank you. I'll make sure to message you. Stay tuned for more here on WRMN AM 1410. We'll be back in just a little bit.
Your hometown radio station since 1949. We are WRMN AM 1410 Elgin.